Hey guys, it's Lindsay. We are going to do a Divine Partners reading. And you're kind of balanced precariously to get this angle. And I feel like that's probably what your romance life feels like right now. You are balanced precariously on the edge. You're trying to be fair to yourself. You're trying to be fair to the person that you're interested in. But it's like a struggle is what I'm getting, okay? And as always, please take only what resonates with these messages, okay? It is a struggle. Because in some ways, I think that you, in this partnership or in this romantic interest that you have, are seeing like holes in in your romantic interests abilities, right? So their ability to show up for themselves, their ability to care for themselves, and it's something that I don't even think they perceive. Okay, these are blind spots in their vision. Just as sometimes, we meet people and they can tell things about us that we maybe don't even see ourselves, right? But specifically for you, the way this is coming in is you are seeing their blind spots and you're having trouble addressing them to them. So speaking up and be like, hey, I noticed this, or I noticed, in a way that's not offensive, okay? Because when you're first engaging with someone, even if you're engaging with someone after long-term partnership, trying to be direct with them about, the way they show up in a way that is supportive, it's often difficult, right? Because you don't always know how people are going to react to what you're sharing. And I feel like that's 90% of what you're experiencing right now is you don't know how they're going to react. And I also feel like you specifically have a lot of past kind of reminders of people who maybe didn't react so well when you shared things with them about themselves. So right now you're in this regeneration phase where you are actually relearning how to speak up for yourself in a relationship and do that in a way that can be shared and open. And if it's not shared and open and supportive, it's not received in a supportive manner, then that's a good indication that this person is probably not for you, right? But I also feel like you're kind of going against like the by the book card, right? So you're kind of railing against this idea that you have to say it to them in a certain way, that you have to express your feelings in a certain way. And, why can't they just accept this is the way that I feel? Okay. Like, it's almost like you're annoyed at the fact that you have to couch your feelings in this pretty package in order for someone to receive it. And I think this is also, again, emphasized from past relationships where you had to put your words into a pretty package or they wouldn't be received in a certain way. And even if they were in a pretty package, sometimes they were received negatively. Okay. Interesting. Hang on, let me get clarification on that card. And I also think that, the person you're interested in and or the partner that you're currently with, they are struggling with things on, in their personal emotional life. And I think that may be why, part of this reason why you're having issues sharing with them, because you notice that they're already struggling with other things, right? And you kind of want to be there for them, but you're also in supporting them in the difficulties of the other stuff, you're also not being present for yourself, right? You're not being honest with yourself. You're not being upfront with your feelings in order to preserve their feelings, right? So it's this fine line that you're walking. You're balanced on the edge. You're balanced on the precipice, just like my phone was balanced on the edge, right? You're trying to find the balance of how to say something without being hurtful, but also getting the point across, okay? Anything else? There's something with, I'm seeing like cushions. What? And that might be the cushion thing getting reaffirmed, like you're trying to cushion your words. This is Henry, my octopus. You're trying to cushion your words. And in some ways, the way it's coming through is you're thinking too much about it, and you honestly just need to rip the Band-Aid off. Okay, because how they're going to react is how they're going to react. If you can catch them in a good moment where they're open and you feel like it's a good moment, that's great. But like, you need to speak your piece, basically, because the more you hold it back, it's actually making you emotionally and physically sick, I'm getting, because you're literally, quite literally, holding back your emotions, literally, quite literally. I'm double speaking, which is almost like you tripping over your words trying to get them out. Just say what you need to say. Just say what you need to say, okay? Because deep knowing, their reaction's going to inform you even further on how to proceed, okay? You know, obviously try not to bring this to them when they're already stressed, you know, but if they react in a manner that's not conducive to how you want to be in a relationship, then you know that that's a flag, right? I do think in some ways that you're going to be surprised by their reaction. You have Treasure Island, where they may react better than you thought they would, and they may have actually recognized within themselves some of these behaviors already, but they didn't have the words for them. Okay, and it's helping them break down their own patterning, because I feel like there's a lot of patterning, obviously, from how they were raised, specifically their parents. I'm seeing like divorced parents, so either one divorce or multiple divorces, separation, being shuffled to and from homes and things like that. And so they were kind of noticing these patterns within themselves, the ones that you're noticing and you're trying to speak upon, but they don't have the words for it, okay? So they are learning too. This is why I'm psychic. Orphaned. So a lot of their life, they were orphaned in their love, okay? Receiving their love from parents, from caregivers, and they had to learn to give love to themselves, and they actually, in many ways, don't even know how to do that. They don't even know what that would look like, because they've never had it shown to them, okay? So by you speaking up on this point that you're making in a supportive and caring manner, and just being like, hey, this is what I noticed, and this has come up for me, it's actually giving them an example of what proper relationship communication looks like and what proper love and support looks like, because they don't have a lot of examples of that in their own life, in their own story, okay? I do think that there is going to be some block initially that's coming up, though, so it does feel like they're going to have a little bit of a block to it, but it also feels like they'll work through it, okay? So they may get angsty. They may be like, what are you talking about? Okay. But the way it's coming in is like coming back around. So like they go off by themselves and they think about it and they come back around. They're like, oh, okay. Like I can kind of see that. Right. And it's also, they have to like talk with their friends is what I'm getting, you know, like bring this point to their friends, bring this point to other people, and their friends are going to be like, well, actually, like you do kind of do that. You know, you do that thing that she's talking about or he's talking about. You do that. And so they're gonna be like, oh, okay. Between worlds. See, we're balancing. And I do think that part of this challenge has been presented to you as a way of leveling up how you want to show up in relationship, right? how, because it's not just about requesting from that person that they show up a certain way, it's also requesting from yourself that you show up a certain way, and specifically you showing up as communicating clearly your needs and what you're seeing that is not aligning for you, right? Okay. So that's that leg up energy. It's giving you that next level, and it's a challenge. A challenge, you're going to be rewarded, but you're going to have to face the challenge, okay? Yes, new life. See? So I do think that this partner is interested in growing with you and interested in moving up with you. But this is like one of those steps that you have to climb, you know, and you have to be the one to climb it first and share that information with them, okay? There's also this element of care that needs to come into the relationship is what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is specifically physical and emotional intimate care being like tied. Okay, so when you are opening to someone emotionally, it's not just one or the other, it's emotional and physical. So I'm going to give this example. I'm going to say this is an adult reading, okay? I'm going to just preface that. I'm going to give this example. I once went to a women's workshop, okay? And the woman who offered this idea to help women work on their partnerships. And they said, if you are trying to grow emotionally and physically intimate with your partner, if you're trying to be open with them and hold space, this woman said what you can do is essentially create, if you are a female, a womb room. Okay? Wait, stay with me. And what that is a physical representation of your womb, which is the most sacred space on a woman's body, right? So like pillows, soft lighting, nice food, like making it like a womb, right? And actually physically inviting your partner in, but inviting them in, asking them to, you know, the way she said it was having them doing like a purification ritual. So that could be as simple as like taking a shower and like making themselves nice and like then having them come in and setting your standard for what that means to invite them in, saying, you know, I need this, this, and this, and then I'll invite you in. And this is literally a representation of inviting someone in physically, right? Really beautiful idea. Really beautiful idea. And so she had used this as an example of how to show how to be both emotionally and physically supportive of each other, right? Because it takes the opening of the feminine and the inviting in physically and emotionally, but it also takes the respecting boundaries of the masculine. So it takes them, you know, purifying themselves basically and being invited in, okay? And so that was this really interesting take. I thought a really beautiful idea, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. It's this similar idea that I'm seeing in this new life attitude that we're having here on this card is making that physical representation, making it warm and inviting, and making it a space where you can both communicate your needs safely and intimately together without the influence of the outside world, and also making it a space free of judgment, okay? So when they share something with you that, you know, like that, you know, as far as keeping it free of a judgment, okay? So really interesting offering if you have a partner or you have a romantic interest. It's something that, you know, when you are very close, I would say extremely close, like that you would feel ready to kind of offer that, because it is such a sacred kind of practice that was offered, and I do think it takes a certain level of relationship. And what I'm seeing from these cards is you're getting to that level of relationship, and it really is that kind of next step that you're kind of being projected towards in the way, you know, and it requires you taking your foot off the step and saying, okay, I'm going to trust that this is going to be the balance that I need, that this is going to be the thing that I need in order to be successful, not only in this relationship but in all of my relationships, and, you know, really be present for myself and my partner and have them be present for themselves as well. So that's kind of an offering through the cards that came through. If any of this resonated with you, if you enjoyed any of this reading, I would love to hear feedback. My name is Lindsey Rose. This is Storyteller Tarot, and you guys stay balanced the whole time. Look at you on that little camera, just balanced the whole time. We didn't have a problem. See? You're not going to have a problem. You're good. If you'd like your own personal reading, all the links are in my bio. Otherwise, I wish you guys well.